Let me take a moment and talk about Riverside.fm. It allows you to record studio quality audio and up to 4K video. When you need to record audio and video, Riverside.fm can do it. So if you're looking for a hero platform for all your recording needs, from podcasts to webinars to any video content, Riverside.fm. I've got a promo code for you where you'll receive a 30% discount on the first 3 months of your subscription. I'll give it to you twice. The promo code is SHIPIT. All one word, SHIPIT, and you'll pick up a 30% discount on your first 3 months of your subscription. Riverside.fm.
In this episode of the Football History Headlines on Pigskin Dispatch, we discuss the United States Canadian Football League expansion, as well as many more Hall of Fame legendary stories on this Football History Daily podcast. Coming up for you in just a moment.
This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history on a day-to-day basis. Your host, Darren Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time. So as we come out of the tunnel of the Sports History Network, let's take the field and go no huddle through the portal of positive gridiron history with PigskinDispatch.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darren Hayes of PigskinDispatch.com. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your portal to positive football history. And we are really excited about this episode of February 21st in football history. Now, there's not a lot of history for today's, and there's not a lot of birthdays. In fact, there's one, and there's one headline in particular, but they are full of items that I think you're going to remember these folks, and it's going to be something special here for you. So pay attention. Let's get right at the football history headlines. February 21st, 1995. Everybody remember that one? The Canadian Football League's Sacramento gold miners become the San Antonio Texans, according to thethisday.com. Apparently, fields in the San Antonio area and down in Texas were not up to the Canadian Football League standards, and after failed attempts to have any of them upgraded and a failed bid by Texans owner Fred Anderson to build a new stadium, it led to the demise of the franchise just a couple of months after the league's Grey Cup was played. Our friend Chris Lawton from the 99yards.com website has an interesting story on what he describes as the ill-fated U.S. expansion of the Canadian Football League in the mid-1990s. From 1993 through the 1995 seasons, the Canadian Football League tried to gain a foothold in the USA by introducing Americans with teams such as the Baltimore Stallions, the Birmingham Barracudas, Las Vegas Posse, Memphis Mad Dogs, Shreveport Pirates, in addition to the Gold Miners Texans franchise. Unfortunately, none of them would stick on American soil for a variety of reasons, as the U.S. fans are very loyal to their NFL and NCAA football, and it's extremely difficult for other forms of football to garner market share. But we're going to have a few of those coming up again, some new old leagues. We're going to have the USFL Spring League starting, a reboot of that great league from the 1980s coming about here real soon in just a few months. And in a year from now, the XFL will be the third rendition of the XFL coming in, trying to raise their head. And who knows what's going to go on with the Canadian Football League. They're going to be trying some new things as well, I'm sure, to get a foothold with football fans. Now, we told you we have one birthday, Hall of Fame birthday for February 21st, and it took place in 1921, not far from me, in Youngstown, Ohio. The awesome former end of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Bob Dove, experienced his arrival in this world. Now, according to his biography on the National Football Foundation website, Dove was awarded with the honor of being a consensus All-American at the end position in 1941 and 1942. Both years. The Washington Touchdown Club awarded him its Rockne Trophy as the nation's best lineman in 1942. And the National Football Foundation voters, well, they checked all the boxes on the 2000 ballot to place Bob Dove on the College Football Hall of Fame in the, be enshrined there. Bob continued his gridiron career as he played professional football with the Chicago Rockets, the Chicago Cardinals, and the Detroit Lions. And when he hung up his cleats, he bounced around the country coaching on a variety of NFL and college level teams. Just some very interesting pieces of history that you may not be so much aware of because they're not on the they're more in the periphery of football history, not the mainstream big names of the NFL and NCAA college and whatnot. But very good memory of the Canadian Football League. Most of us remember them. There may be some of us that still remember Bob Dove playing for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. So just some excellent history. We hope that you enjoyed this. We're glad that you stopped by today, the Pigpen, to hear some more football history. And we do this each and every day, folks. And sometimes we have a couple podcasts a day, but we have multiple posts each day on pigskindispatch.com. You can also find us over on our other side, the Sports Jersey Dispatch podcast. We're talking about all team sports through the uniforms and the jersey numbers, and even some racing numbers that teams have done competitively that they've worn, and we learn a lot about the history. That's my quest to learn more about sports history, and I'm getting it from a lot of experts and a lot of research on my own, just asking some questions. And boy, am I getting a great education here. Take you along for the ride, and it's free of charge. So Sports Jersey Dispatch, your favorite podcast provider, or on jerseydispatch.com. You can see the ad on pigskindispatch.com to get there, and on the sportshistorynetwork.com. So make sure you check all those out. And sportshistorynetwork.com, we have a couple dozen different podcasters on there just bringing you some great sports history from all realms of sports around the world. And I think you're sure to have some many hundreds of hours of enjoyment of listening to all our great talents we have there, and the very awesome and legendary guests that we have coming on there as well on all the different podcasts. Very talented group of podcasters and guests that we have all the time. sportshistorynetwork.com, and don't forget pigskindispatch.com and the jerseydispatch.com. Till tomorrow, everybody, have a great sports history day. That's all the football history we have today, folks. Join us back tomorrow for more of your football history. We invite you to check out our website, pigskindispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. Pigskindispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Are you having a hard time figuring out what to get Dad for Father's Day? You should check out Row 1 Brand's Vintage Pictorum Gallery. They have America's best sports art. With over 7,200 historic sports prints, you're assured to find something unique for Dad this Father's Day. Instead of a boring old tie, get him a historic baseball photo taken by Henry High Sandom at the historic Polo Grounds Stadium in New York City during the 1894 Temple Cup. Or, if he's an NFL buff, check out the 1963 vintage NFL poster. These are so good looking that you'll be amazed how they turn out. Shop now at sportshistorynetwork.com/row1 and save 15% off your order.